The Bear Brook Murders, Barrels of Secrets and a Killer's Hidden Life. In the quiet woods of Bear Brook State Park, New Hampshire, a hunter stumbled across a rusted steel drum in 1985. Inside, 2 bodies wrapped in plastic, hidden for years. 15 years later, another barrel was found nearby, with 2 more bodies. No names, no suspects, no answers. For decades, this chilling mystery baffled investigators, until a groundbreaking discovery unmasked a serial killer who'd been hiding in plain sight. This is the story of the Bear Brook Murders, a case so bizarre, it changed forensic science forever. November 10th, 1985. A crisp fall day in Allenstown, New Hampshire. A hunter wandered through Bear Brook State Park, a sprawling forest popular with locals. Near a dirt trail, he spotted a 55-gallon steel drum, tipped over and rusted. Curious, he looked inside and froze. 2 bodies wrapped in plastic sheeting and bound with electrical cord. A woman, likely in her 20s, and a young girl, maybe 10 years old. Both had been bludgeoned to death, their skulls crushed by a heavy object. Police were stumped. There were no missing persons reports matching the victims, no fingerprints, no dental records, no IDs. The bodies were too decomposed to determine an exact time of death, but investigators estimated they'd been in the barrel for several years, possibly since the late 1970s. The case was dubbed the Bear Brook Murders. With no leads, it went cold, haunting the small town of Allenstown.
9. Their identities were unknown.
Authorities say they died of trauma to the head. They were dead at least 6 months, perhaps as long as 3 years before being discovered by a hunter in the park.
We have run them through all of the computers, both at the state level and from Washington, D.C., and they are simply not in that computer. It is extremely unlikely that the individuals found in Allenstown are from New Hampshire. It is far more likely that they are from a jurisdiction probably some distance away, and that the bodies were actually taken here and dumped.
Fast forward to May 2000. A new detective, revisiting the case, decided to comb the same area of Bear Brook State Park. Just 100 yards from the first drum, another rusted barrel was found. Inside, 2 more bodies, both young girls, aged around 2. And 4, like the first victims, they were wrapped in plastic, bound, and bludgeoned. Forensic tests revealed a shocking twist. The woman from the first barrel was likely the mother of 2 of the girls, one from the first barrel, one from the second. The 4th victim, the youngest girl, was unrelated. Who were these people? Why were they hidden in barrels? And why was one child not related to the others? The discoveries raised more questions than answers. With no names and no suspects, the case grew colder. The barrels a grim reminder of an unsolved horror. Investigators worked tirelessly to identify the victims. They released facial reconstructions, hoping someone would recognize the woman or the girls. Flyers were posted across New England. Tips poured in, but none panned out. Forensic evidence was limited. The barrels were common, sold at hardware stores. The plastic sheeting and electrical cord were untraceable. DNA technology in the 1980s and 1990s wasn't advanced enough to identify the victims or find familial matches. Police explored theories. A transient family killed by a drifter. A domestic violence case gone horribly wrong. A cult or organized crime connection, given the brutality and concealment. But without identities, the case hit a wall. The victims became known as the Allenstown Four, their story fading into obscurity. Meanwhile, a killer was living a secret life, moving across the country, leaving no trace. In the 2010s, a revolution in forensic science breathed new life into the case. Genetic genealogy, using DNA to trace family trees, was making headlines, solving cold cases like the Golden State Killer in 2017. Investigators sent DNA from the Allenstown 4 to a lab for advanced testing. They confirmed the familial relationships. The woman was the mother of the middle and oldest girls. The youngest girl, however, was unrelated, suggesting the killer had targeted 2 separate families. Using public DNA databases like GEDmatch, genealogists built family trees from the victims' DNA. By 2019, they identified the 3 related victims: Marlies Honeychurch, 24, the mother, her daughters, Marie Vaughn, 6, and Sarah McQuarters, 1. Marlies and her girls were last seen in California in 1978, visiting family for Thanksgiving, never returned. 4th victim, the unrelated girl, remained unidentified, her DNA yielding no close matches. But the real breakthrough came when genealogists traced the unrelated girl's DNA to a distant relative who pointed to a man named Peder Rasmussen. Peder Rasmussen was a drifter with a long criminal history. Born in 1943, he'd used multiple aliases across the U.S., including Bob Evans, Curtis Kimball, and Larry Vanner. He had convictions for theft, fraud, and abandoning his own children. In 1985, Rasmussen was living in California under the alias Bob Evans with a girlfriend named Yoon Soon Jun. In 2002, June vanished. Police arrested Rasmussen, and DNA testing confirmed he'd killed her, dismembering and hiding her body. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 15 years. While in prison, investigators linked Rasmussen to the Bear Brook case through DNA, the unrelated girl. In the second barrel was his biological daughter. Rasmussen had never reported her missing, and her identity remains unknown to this day. Rasmussen died in prison in 2010, before he could be charged with the Bear Brook murders. But the evidence was overwhelming. He was the killer. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered Rasmussen's chilling history. He was linked to multiple disappearances and murders across the U.S. In 1981, Denise Baudin vanished from Manchester, New Hampshire, with her infant daughter and Rasmussen, her boyfriend at the time. The daughter was later found abandoned in California, but Baudin's body has never been found. In the 1970s and 1980s, Rasmussen was tied to missing women in California, though no bodies were recovered. Rasmussen's MO was consistent: target vulnerable women with children, gain their trust, then kill and disappear. He lived off the grid, using fake names and moving frequently, making him nearly impossible to track. The Bear Brook case revealed his deadliest act: killing Marlies Honeychurch, her 2 daughters, and his own daughter, then hiding their bodies in barrels. Why he killed his own child remains a mystery. Some believe it was to erase evidence of his life with Marlies. Others think it was pure sociopathy. In 2019, the Bear Brook murders were officially solved, identifying Peder Rasmussen as the killer. Marlies Honeychurch and her daughters, Marie and Sarah, finally had their names restored. But the 4th victim, Rasmussen's daughter, remains unidentified, known only as the middle child. The case changed forensic science, proving the power of genetic genealogy. It inspired podcasts, documentaries, and renewed hope for solving other cold cases. Marlies' family, devastated by the loss, found some closure, but the pain of not knowing. The full story lingers. Why did Rasmussen kill? What drove him to murder his own child? And how many other victims are still out there, hidden in his trail of aliases? The Bear Brook murders are a haunting reminder that evil can hide in plain sight. A man with no roots, no conscience, and a knack for disappearing. What do you think drove Peder Rasmussen to commit these horrific crimes? Are there more victims waiting to be found? Let us know in the comments if this chilling story gripped you. Hit like and subscribe for more real-life mysteries. And remember, sometimes the darkest secrets are buried in the quietest places.